Okay, so great evening, guys. Happy new month. Yes, welcome to the month of May. We're super excited that you're here. The 1st of May is actually a public holiday, and I hope you enjoyed your holiday, the national holiday for workers, and hope you rested well. But beyond that, this is May, and also, guess what? 4 months is done and dusted in 2025. Yes, whether you accept it or not, 4 months is over in 2025. So, what are you going to do moving forward, knowing that the year is just running? We are in May now, we're in the fifth month in 2025. Yes, this is the fifth month, this is May. Happy new month. But how are you doing? The month is just beginning, so I'm going to ask you how's the month going, but take a look back at the last 4 months. How's it been for you? What have you been able to achieve for yourself? Have you been able to do the milestones you've been able to achieve? How has it been so far? What's the trajectory like for you in 2025? Can you say categorically and with brutal honesty that you're making progress? If you haven't, it's okay. There is still time. You can still make adjustments and you can still be able to achieve whatever it is that you set out to do in 2025, right? So relax, don't sweat it, right? This is May, and in the month of May, we're going to do a lot of teachings as always, right? We're going to do a lot of teachings, a lot of very reflective personal teachings where you need to look at yourself and know more about yourself. That's the kind of things that we do here. We look at scriptures, we do teachings from scriptures, and also from time to time, we take out to just look at ourselves, reflect on some of the things, and pick out lessons from those things. And that's one of the things that we're going to be doing today, because today we have an interesting conversation we're going to have. And it's something that I really want to talk about because I feel that it's time for us to really begin to have such conversation. But before we begin, welcome again to a new month. Welcome to the Upgrade Mastery Just for You with Mr. Upgrade. And we do this every Fridays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'll basically get to do a few things just to relax, unwind, take a look at the lessons we've learned all through the week, right? And the lessons we've gained, right? What we're going to take from it, how we're going to improve ourselves moving forward. These are some of the things that we do on the Upgrade Mastery Just for You, right? And then we got to take your questions, we get to interact, we get to hear from you, how your week has been, what the challenges you face, how you were able to overcome them, how you're making progress, how you're pushing boundaries. We get to look at all of those things on the conversation, right? And I can't wait for us to really get into this gist today, because today is something that I really feel we need to look at from a very unbiased perspective, right? From a very unbiased perspective, there's some things that we really need to look at and address and hopefully become better after this conversation, because the essence of learning is to help you do better, right? I tell this to people all the time. I say that the proof of any learning is practice, and the proof of practice is result. So when you have learnings like this, we'll see it in how your result becomes different and better. All right. So it's not enough to say, oh, I learned something. You have to practice what you learned, because it's in the practicing that shows that you really learned, right? Even Jesus tells in scripture that it's not the hearers that are blessed, but the hearers and the doers, right? So there's the place of hearing and there's the place for doing, right? And that's what makes learning complete. You hear to do, right? So today, we're going to have an amazing conversation, and it's something quite interesting, right? It's something that I feel it has not been talked about much, but it's something that we should really pay attention to, right? And it is what I call be there for others, right? Be there for others. And this conversation is really, really going to be something very, very important, right? It's going to be very important that we look at this and would really be truthful to ourselves, right? Because I hear a lot of people tell themselves that, oh, nobody's been there for me, so I cannot be there for them. On if they're not there for me, I won't be there for them. Those are some of the things we really need to look at today on this conversation. Be for others. So, are you ready? Are you ready for this conversation? Are you ready? If you're ready, then we will begin so that we can have this conversation in full, right? Because I really want us to get this show on the road. So be there for others. Now, what does it mean when they say be there for others, right? Is it that you are not showing up? Is it that you are not physically present? Is it that you don't chat them? Is it that you don't reach out to them? What does it actually mean when we say be there for others? Now, I'd like you to x-ray yourself. How is it like when people are there for you? Or how would you know that people are there for you? Think about it. Tell me in the comment section. How would you know that people are there for you? How can you say, oh, this person has been there for me? What are the things that they do that make you feel that way? That, oh, they're truly there for me. They were there for me in my trying times. They were there for me when I was going through a lot. How would you know that someone is there for you? Because what may mean to be there for a person may be different for another person, right? So, what does it mean when someone is there for you? How would you know when someone is there for you? What does it come off as when someone is there for you? You know, I did a few research and I realized that there are three simple ways to be there for others. Three simple ways. If you are able to make a practice of these three, it's fantastic. But if not, at least you should be able to do one or minimum one, averagely two, but optimally three of them. Right? Did you get that? So at the minimum, you should be able to do one. Average, you should be able to do two. But optimally, you should be able to do three, all three. This way, you can be there for others. You see, we live in a world where we cannot really thrive much in isolation. Yes, we need association. We are not designed to be alone. Yeah, even back in the day with our forefathers, when they were still living in caves and they were still hunters and gatherers, they were still in a tribe. They were still together. They were never alone. Even from scripture in book of Genesis, God said, Genesis chapter 2, that it's not good for man to be alone. Right? So God created a helpmate, created a partner for man. That still tells us that as humans, we can't really do the best of us alone. Yes, you can do great things alone, but the real best of you can never come out alone. You need others, you need the support of others, right? The same way other people need support from you. So that's why it's important that we be there for others. You know, even in scripture in Acts chapter 4, you could see that the apostles, when they started out, they were communal. They were there for each other to the point that some people would sell whatever they own and bring the proceeds and put it at their feet so it can be shared amongst themselves. They were in communal living because they were there for each other. Now, it is important that we learn to be there for others. But I know a lot of people many times feel, oh, but nobody's being there for me. Sometimes I'm alone. Have you ever been in that situation? Does that happen to you something like, oh, I'm the one that's always there for Okay, so we're back now. Sorry about the network challenge. Apologies for that. We had a little bit of network glitch, but we're back now. Now, like I was saying, have you ever been in that situation where you feel like, oh, you're the one who's always there for others, no one is there for you, yada, 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 and all of those things? Have you ever been in such a situation? Yes, it happens a lot, right? You know, there's a picture I see online. They say is a picture that has two sides. One side has a crowd, like a lot of people, and that side has just one person. And they say the victory, and the right here the support, which means the support is just very few, and then the people who are celebrating with you are always much. Such is life. It happens a lot when you're going through what you're going through. Then you really know who's got you, right? But when you're celebrating, everybody loves success. Everybody wants to celebrate with someone who succeeded, right? But not everybody would be there for you through the process that leads to your success. Say that again. Not everybody's going to be there for you through the process that leads to your success. But this is where it is important that you pay attention to this. Is this, regardless of who is there for you or who's not there for you, you have to learn to be there for others. And this is where it's now different, you know, because a lot of times we want to say, oh, if you don't do for me, I won't do for you. But what we are teaching you now and what we're sharing with you now is, regardless of who is there for you, you make up your mind that you will be there for others. Are you getting this? That is what we expect you to learn and become a practice for you. It's not about who's there for you, it's about you being there for others. But you're going to say, oh, does that not make me look like I'm a fool? Does that not make me look like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing? People are taking advantage of me and all of that. I say this all the time, respectfully, guys. People can only use you because you are useful. I'll say that again. People can only use you because you are useful. So be there for others. Regardless of who's there for you or who's not there for you, you make it a duty, make it a practice, make it a habit, make it a lifestyle that you will be there for others. And that's the crux of this conversation today. Be there for others. And I'm going to show you 3 simple ways in which you can be there for others. And you can begin to practice from this second to be there for others. And like I told you earlier, if you can do 1, it's okay. If you can do 2, it's amazing. But if you can do all 3, it's just fantastic, right? The goal is to do all 3. These 3 simple ways. The goal is for you to do all 3. But if at all you can't do all 3, you should be able to do 2. But if at all you cannot do 2, you should be able to at least do 1. But still upon still, like they will say, you should be there for others. Because the truth is this, everyone really knows those who have been there for them. Even if they have selective amnesia, they will not forget those people who have truly been there for them. And you're not doing this because, oh, you want to be in their good books. You're doing it because it is the right thing to do. And especially if these people are your friends. Come on, you have no excuse to not to be there for the people who you call friends. You know, you've done a lot of teaching on friendship, on stewardship. So I would encourage you to go watch those teachings on the YouTube channel here. Go watch those teachings, they will help you, right? But it's important that moving forward, you now learn how to be there for others. And like I said, I'll tell you 3 simple ways for you to be there for others. So pay attention, right? So number 1, the first way for you to be there for others is to provide support. Provide support. That's the first way to be there for others. Now, when we say provide support, what do we actually mean? Because for some people, whenever they hear support, all they think is, oh, somebody's giving them money. Somebody's transferring to their account, right? Yeah. Right? They're asking for money. But let me tell you this, guys. When it comes to support, the least form of support is money. I will say that again. When it comes to support, the least form of support is money. The truth is this: anybody can give you money. Doesn't mean they actually support you. Right? But we live in a world where people already feel that when it comes to support, everything is money. Oh, if you just give me $2 million, or you give me $10 million, or you give me 10 billion naira, then you've supported me. But there's more to support than money. And if you're going to be there for others, you must really understand how to support. I'm not saying support cannot be in form of money, but I say that the least, so if there was a hierarchy of support, at the least of it is money. Because there are so many needs you may have that even money can meet. There's some needs you have. Someone rightly said that don't be so poor that all you have is money. Do you get that? Don't be so poor that all you have is money. Because there are some things that money just cannot do. There's things that money cannot do. Well, I know you're going to say, come on, then it's okay, it's okay. Let's get back to be there for others. Right, so the first way to be there for others is through support. Right? And then how do you really support people in a way that they know that you are there for them? Because remember what I told you earlier, that it's not how you say you are there for people, it's how they feel that you are there for them. How does it connect to them that you are there for them? Not what you do, not what you say, but how they feel that you are connected to them to be there for them. Just the same way we have the love language, we have the apology language, which connects differently for different people. The same way being there for people when it comes to support, what you may think is support for a person may not come off as support for the person. So you need to be certain what the support really is that the person wants, and then provide that support for the person. That's how you are being there for the person. But there are also generic ways to show support. And the list of that generic ways is money. But there are generic ways. But there are also specific ways to show support. So let's say, for instance, you have somebody who's trying to push the brand on social media. Showing support for that person would be you carrying the person's brand on your head like government work. No, they don't put government work on the head anymore. They say they put it on the shoulder. So it gets heavy, you just shrug it off. Right? So it's like carrying the person's online brand the way you would carry your own business. So you're talking about it, you're sharing about it, you're commenting on it, you're engaging it. That's you supporting the person. But the person may say, oh, the kind of support I would need would be somebody who can help me to promote my page online. Now, the person is now being specific. So helping to help promote the page is now you offering support. So are you getting this? So as much as there is the generic support you can offer, you must also seek to know the specific support. Just the same way that the specific love language that appeals to a person, the specific apology language that appeals to the person, there's also this specific support that somebody would want. So for me as a person, one of the support I would love would be, giving me feedback on my work. Like, okay, you watch my video, you give me feedback, or you share my video with people, so they watch and they give you feedback and you send me the feedback. That's the kind of support I want. Are you getting it? So when I do my reels, the 1 minute reels on Instagram, and I share the link to the YouTube, and you share and you watch and you actually give me feedback, that's the kind of support that I would want. Because I know, okay, you are really interested in what I'm doing. But if you put on your status alone and you don't give me feedback, you don't watch it, you don't listen, you don't share what you learn from it or what you practice from what you learn from it, you're not actually supported. So I don't take that as support, even though you may think that you're supported. Tomorrow, when I don't count you as people who are there for me, you may feel offended, but you were not actually there. because I never got the feedback. That's why I say, as much as the support can be generic, the support still needs to be specific. So let's say somebody's in a financial crisis, and then you're giving a generic support of, oh, the Lord will come through for you. That kind of situation, what you need at that point is to be able to say, oh, I don't have all the funds you need, but this is this 100,000 or this is this 1 million, right? Add it to what you're looking for. That's my support for what you are doing or for what you need. That is support. That's you being there for them. Let me tell you this, guys. People are not always going to be down all their lives. At some point, they're going to find their feet. And at some point, they may not need the support the way they needed it while they were down. So being there for others is actually a privilege. Are you getting this? So you must be sensitive enough to make the most of that opportunity, because it's not going to be there forever. So number one way to be there for others is through support. So I'll give you some very generic support you can give to anyone. Number one, to pray for them. To pray for them. See, guys, you have no idea how much prayers is a support. And then you can take prayers from being generic support to be specific support by actually asking the people what it is they need prayers for. That you can join and agree with them in prayers for. Remember, scripture says that if two shall agree as touching anything, it will be done for them. So you can literally ask them, what exactly do you need prayers for? So I can join you in agreement in prayers. That is you being there for them. So you can move a prayer that is a generic support. Oh, God, I pray for all my friends. God bless all my friends. So you should have grown past that level to actually ask them, what are the things you really want God to do for you in 2025? Right? You may not give me all the details, but just tell me what they are so I can include them on my prayer list for you. It's part of my support for you. I may not be able to give you money, but I can fast on your behalf. I can pray to God. I can intercede on your behalf. And the truth is this, we all need prayers. We all need prayers. Right? Remember in Acts chapter 12, when Peter was arrested and put in prison, Peter was sleeping. They play. Peter was sleeping. But the church prayed for Peter. That was their support for Peter at that time. A very specific support. Because they knew that Herod had just killed James. And he was intending to kill Peter too. So if there was no miraculous intervention, Peter would be dead. But they gave specific support for the deliverance of Peter. And that support was in the form of prayers. So I say prayers can be generic support, but prayers can also be specific support. And that's one of the ways you can be there for others. Specific support. Another way to be there for others is encouragement. See, guys, sometimes we need encouragement. Hey, see, nobody is Superman right now. Sometimes you are Clark Kent. You need encouragement, right? And another way you can be there for others through support is to encourage them. You know, it was interesting that in 1 Samuel 30, David didn't have anybody to encourage him. He had to encourage himself in the Lord. See, we all need somebody who can, from time to time, encourage us. See, life can be tough. Life can be tough, guys. It really can be tough in life. But sometimes, all you just need is somebody who would encourage you. Right? You know, yes, the Holy Spirit is our encourager. The Holy Spirit is our support, is our standby, is our advocate, is our helper. But sometimes we just need human beings that we know can encourage us when we are going through our down times. People who can tell us that, oh, this is not the end. it can only get better. People who show that we can lean on and cry on and will feel encouraged. People who can be vulnerable too. It's part of the support and it's part of being there for others. See, the truth is this: we all at some point need encouragement. And when people are there for us to encourage us, it just makes us have hope, even in the most hopeless situation, because we are encouraged. Are you getting this? So you must understand this. One of the ways you can be there for others through support is the support of encouragement. People feel they are not alone when they receive such support of encouragement. And the same way, support of encouragement can be generic. It can also be specific. So somebody is working on a project, right? Don't just say, oh, I encourage you, be inspired, be challenged, be motivated or whatever. Let the encouragement be directed towards the exact project that the person is doing. That's how the person feels that you are there for them. It's specifically directed to what they are going through at the time. So the encouragement is specific. Let's say, for instance, someone is having a challenge with the health, right? The encouragement will be things directed to the health, whether it's scriptures, whether it's what they need to do to feel better and all of that. So the encouragement is directed, is specific to what the person is going through. So that's a specific encouragement, not a generic encouragement. I know the truth is this: many people try to do the generic so it doesn't look like they were not there. No, you should grow beyond the generic and get into the specific kind of support. That's what registers in the minds of people, that this person is actually here for me. That's what registers, not the generic. The specific is what registers. Right? The generic will be acknowledged. Oh, yeah, I got the message. Oh, thank you, no problem. But the specific is what registers in the heart. Like, yeah, this person is actually there for me. Are we still together? So we're still talking about support, right? In be there for others. The first is support. And we are breaking support down. And we said, okay, to support, first way, prayers. Prayers. And I said your prayers should go beyond just being generic and go to being specific. And then the next area where you can support is to encourage. And I also said you should go beyond being generic to going to being specific when you encourage, right? Now, the third way you can also support is to believe in the person, to believe in their idea, to believe in their dream, to believe in what they are chasing, to show that you believe in them is another way to support. Because see, one thing that many people don't realize is that many people don't have people who believe in them. Literally, I have this thing that I try to believe in people when I meet them, when I come across them. I always just let them know I believe in them, and I show it in my own little way. And the way they are touched, I'm like, I didn't do much. But that's just to let you know that there are a lot of people who don't have anyone who believes in them. So when they see someone that believes in them, it really makes a mark for them. Because then they see that of a truth. This person is being there for me. This person believes in me. So this is how you can be there for others, to believe in them. Believe in your vision, believe in their dreams, believe in their ideas, believe in their goals, believe in the things that they are chasing, believe in them. That's how you can be there for them. Because as you believe in them, you, even when you see ways they can improve, you share it with them because you believe in them. That's how you can be there for others. You believe in them. Are we still together? Is this making sense? Right? So be there for others. It's a very simple way to be there for them. And in being there for them, you should be able to, guess what? You should be able to believe in them. Believe in them. I tell people this all the time. I believe in you, right? Not just as something that I like to say, but it's the truth. That's who I am. I believe in people, and I let them know I believe in them. Even when they don't believe in themselves. Are we together? I believe in them. Even when they don't believe in themselves, I believe in them. And I show them that I believe in them by how I support them, by how I'm there for them. But you see, when you believe in people, you make sacrifices for them. You go the extra mile for them. It's part of you being there for them. In fact, I'm feeling like this whole Be There for Others should be a series. I'm serious, because there's so much people really need to understand. Because let me tell you this, guys. Whatever you do for yourself, it's forgotten. Whatever you do for others is evergreen. It's always remembered. When especially it is done by being there for them. You see, the way it even happens is that when you are there for others, you can't even remember how you were there for them. But they will never forget how you were there for them. Are you getting it? You can't even remember how. You can't remember how you were there for them. But they will never forget it. Are we still together? This is what it is, guys. This is what it is. This is what it is. So to support, you pray specifically for what it is that they're going through and what they need support for. You pray. Encourage, specific encouragement. Not just random, specific encouragement to what it is that you're going through. And then you believe in them specifically. They share an idea with you. You believe in them. Help them to see the idea becomes a reality. You believe in them. That's how you are being there for others. You believe in them. And then the fourth way for you to show support and to be there for others is to show up. To show up for them. Physically, online, however, show up for them. I show up for them. That's what shows that you're actually there for them. You show up for them. Show up for them. You show up by giving them referrals. You show up by giving them recommendations. You show up for them. Right? That's how you can be there for people. You just show up. And I do this a lot effortlessly. I just show up for people. I attend their events. I subscribe to their program. I pay for their courses. I just show up for them. Right? Because this really helps. This really helps to show up for them. Because the truth is, sometimes these people that you are there for don't have people who are there for them. You may just be the only one who is truly there for them. You know, when people are starting up, a lot of people are giving them the belief that, oh, I'm there for you, I'm going to be there, no problem. But when push comes to shove, then they realize that some of these people are really not there. But when you actually show up, then they can know that yes, there's somebody who's actually there for them. They can know without the shadow of a doubt that somebody is actually there for them. And this is one way for you to support, to show up, to show up, to show up. And that always leaves an indelible mark in people when you show up for them. When you show up for them. In your own little way. When you show up for them. They never forget it. To you, like I keep saying, to you, it may just be something that you just do normally. But to them, it means the world to them. It means the world to them because not many people show up for people these days. The world we live in today, not many people show up for people. But you showing up for them, it lets them know that there's somebody who's there for them. And this whole thing we're talking about today, this conversation, is to be there for others. Show up for them. Not because you necessarily want them to show up for you, but because that's who you are. You know, I'm always from the standpoint of doing things because that's who you are. So that way you're not expecting reciprocity. Okay, they must do in return for me. No, you're just doing it because that's who you are. You're doing it because that's who you are. It saves you the heartaches of disappointments, of people not reciprocating what you're doing for them. No, it just saves you all of that because that's who you are. Whether they're there for you or not, that's who you are. Are we getting this? Is this making sense? So the first way to be there for others is support. And I've told us how we can support. Basic support, prayers, encouragement, belief, show up. These are 4 basic ways you can be there for others through support. And you notice that I didn't talk about money. Because everybody feels that, oh, to only support people, you just give them money. No. That's too basic. We're not even going to talk about that. Because you see, if you can pray, if you can encourage, if you can believe, if you can show up, you can easily give money. Are you getting this? If you can do this 4, money will come out effortlessly. The second way to be there for others is to recommend them. See, the people that you know that do great work, they shouldn't be your best kept secret. Tell others about them. Recommend them. Do referrals for them. That's how you can be there for them. Right? Mention their names in rooms where they will never be able to find themselves. That's how you are being there for them. Oh, I know a guy who does that. Oh, I know a girl who does that. That's how you are being there for them. Through your recommendation. That's how you're being there for them, through your recommendation. Because they may never get to meet some caliber or some class of people in their lifetime except through recommendation. And that recommendation will never happen if you don't put in a good word for them, if you don't talk about them. You know, when you share someone's work online, that's your endorsement. That's a recommendation you are giving. Are you getting it? That's a recommendation. That's you telling others that I have a stamp of belief in this one. That's why I'm sharing it. So when I share things on my story on Instagram, or I share on my status, I don't share status, sorry. When I share on my X or on LinkedIn or my story on Instagram or my post on Instagram, is because I'm saying I recommend this. I endorse this. It's part of my way of being there for this person. And when the person keeps seeing it, the person knows of the truth. There's somebody who's truly there. There's somebody who's truly there for me. Are we together? So you must deliberately, intentionally recommend others. Recommend the people that you are there for. Recommend them. Recommend them. See, they don't have to be great for you to recommend them. As you keep recommending them, they will become great. I'll say that again. They don't have to be great before you recommend them. But as you keep recommending them, they will become great. They'll keep improving themselves. They'll keep upgrading themselves. They'll keep upskilling themselves. Because the more they keep being recommended, the more they get more recommendation. So they will have no choice, but they'll keep improving themselves. So that's what makes a difference. So you must intentionally recommend others. You must. That's how you show that you are being there for them. You recommend them. You know what they do. You've experienced their service or their product. You recommend them. You recommend them. They don't need to ask you to recommend them. Sometimes they can, but they don't necessarily need to ask you to recommend them. If you are being there for them, you should just by default recommend them. Are we together? By default, just recommend them. That shows that you are being there for them. Oh, I know someone who does this. I put in a word. Oh, you're in the place they're discussing for something. And yeah, oh, I know somebody who can bid for that too. I put in a word. That's your recommendation. That's your way of being there for them. And you see, being there for people has a time frame, literally. Because not everybody is going to remain small all their life or all of their journey. They're going to grow. They're going to expand. They're going to be big. So when you miss out that opportunity at their early stages, it becomes even more difficult for you to now recommend them. Or many times your recommendation will no longer even be needed anymore. So as much as you have the opportunity, make the most of it. Recommend people. That's how you show you are being there for them. Recommend them. Tell people about their service. Tell people about what they do. Recommend them. Engage their works. Leave a comment on their work. That's part of your recommendation. You know, in a social media world that we live in, little things are recommendation. Your like, your comment, your shares, those are recommendation. It's not only when you write an official letter to recommend someone. No, when you're sharing their work, you're showing that I recommend you to see this. I recommend this. That's what you're doing. That's recommendation. When you make comments on their work, that's recommendation. Because other people will come and see your comment. That's recommendation. That's how you show that you are there for them. You like their work, you comment, you share, you save. It's part of recommendation. I remember back in the day when my account was hacked, quite an experience. It happened, quite an experience. I lost my Instagram, I lost my WhatsApp, I lost my Facebook in 2022. I lost everything. But guess what? While I came back on Instagram after weeks of mourning, only 2 persons shared my Instagram handle to say, oh, please follow back this person again. He lost the account and all that. Just 2 persons. Just 2 persons. Now, will I ever forget those 2 persons? Never. Never. Because those were the times I was down. Only 2 persons. And prior to that time, I'd had 21,300 followers on Instagram. 21,000. But when my account was hacked, I was away for weeks trying to mourn the account, trying to recover. It was impossible. My Instagram, my WhatsApp, Facebook, only 2 persons shared back on Instagram to say, oh, follow this person, he lost account and all of that. Just 2 persons. Why am I saying this? Will I ever forget those 2 persons? Never. 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 In my lifetime, I will always remember those 2 persons who talked about the fact that I lost my account. Now, the account, I've grown a new account from scratch. I'm over 18,000, right? With the new account. But I will never forget those 2 persons who shared. What I'm telling you, it has a lifetime for which you can be there for others. After that, even when you are there, is no longer needed. I'll say that again. It has a lifetime for which you can be, or not a lifetime, a lifespan, right? There's a lifespan for which you can be there for others. And after which, even if you are there for them, it's no longer needed. It's not surplus to requirement. And people will never forget those people who have really been there for them. You'll never forget them. Even you may forget what you did for them. But what you did for them, they will never forget it. Especially when you are there for them. So recommend people is how you show that you are there for them. You recommend them. You do referrals for them. You tell people about them. Right? You engage what they do. That's how you show them you are there for them. Your friends cannot be in a particular business and you use the product or service from that business and you don't patronize them. You're not being there for them. And you don't even recommend them to others. You're not being there for them. Because there will only be a time when they will need that. When that time elapses, they won't need it anymore. They won't need it anymore. They say that the opportunity of a lifetime is in the lifetime of the opportunity. When that time elapses, they won't need it anymore. It will not be termed surplus to requirements. So understand this so it can help you to be there for others. So number one is support. Right? Support. Number two is recommend. Recommend. And number three is reprimand. Now, I know a lot of people may not find this easy to take in. You're like I always say, whenever you find the truth too big to swallow, then maybe it's your windpipe that is narrow. Right? Whenever the truth becomes a pill that is too big to swallow, then maybe it's your windpipe that is narrow. But the truth is this: one of the ways you can also be there for others is to reprimand them. Right? You should be able to call them to order with their BS. Call them to order. That's you being there for them. Let them know that what you're doing doesn't make any sense. Let them know that they can be better than what they are displaying right now. Reprimand them. Don't only say, okay, no, I won't try to hurt their feelings. No. Speak the truth with love. Correct them. Reprimand them. Tell them, call their BS out. You shouldn't be doing this. You're bigger and better than this. Stop this. Reprimand them. It's part of your way to be there for them, because the truth is, at some stages in life, some people get to surround themselves with people who are just men pleasers, ass lickers, right? People who are just telling them what they like to hear. For you to be there for such people, you should be able to reprimand them. Let them know that you're doing the wrong thing. Even if everyone is singing your praises, but you're doing the wrong thing. You tell them the truth. You reprimand them. Right? You correct them. Habit in love, but you correct them. It's part of your way to be there for them. It's part of your way to be there for them. You correct them. You don't entertain their BS. You let them know that, no, you shouldn't be doing this. You're better than this. There's so much to you than what you're doing right now. Stop doing this. Reprimand them. Call them to order. Reprimand them. Yes, as much as you support them, as much as you recommend them, you should also be able to say, no, you are doing the wrong thing at this time. You don't act a blind eye. No. You become the one who reveals to them their blind spots. Remember the Johari window? It's the part of the Johari window where it's called the blind spot, where they can't see that about themselves. But that's where you come in, to reprimand them, to let them see their blind spots, to help them see their mistakes. Howbeit you do it in love, but you reprimand them. You don't sing their praises without letting them know where they are making mistakes. So as much as you are their cheerleader, you can also be there to let them know that they are missing it, XYZ. They're getting it wrong there. Because see, some people are just cheering other people on to their doom. That should not be you. That should not be you. You should be able to call people out and say, this thing, you're out of line. You're out of order here. Yes, all the others you have been doing has been fantastic. But if you don't check this, it will ruin those other things you've done. Are we together? It will ruin those other things you've done. So you should be there for others to also reprimand them, to also call them to order. Let them know that they are making a mistake at this time. That's how you are there for them. You correct them. You tell them the truth. And I told you earlier, whenever the truth becomes a pill too difficult to swallow, then just maybe the windpipe is narrow. You tell them the truth. Even if it hurts, you tell them the truth. Because truth hurts, but hurts heal. So you tell them the truth. It's part of your way to reprimand them. You're not saying you don't see the good works that they do. You're not saying you don't appreciate the great things that they're doing, but this is where they are missing it. This is where they are getting it wrong. And you are here to help them. So you reprimand them. Are we still together? So this is how you are being there for them. To be the compass. And also to redirect their path. You know, when David was explaining the shepherd, it talks about the rod and the staff, they comfort me in Psalm 23, right? What you do when you're being there for others, sometimes you have to use the rod, other times you have to use the staff. So as much as you support, as much as you recommend, that's the staff. You should also learn to use the rod to reprimand. This is very important. And when you understand these three basic things, you see that you are being there for others. It just becomes a normal life for you to be there for others because you understand these basic things of support, recommend, and reprimand. These three things would help you to be there for others. Whether it's online, whether it's offline. With these three things, you can be there for others. And the goal of this conversation is to get you to be there for others. See, whatever it is that you do for yourself, it ends and dies with you. Whatever you do for others, it outlives you. So what would you rather do? What ends with you or what outlives you? I'd rather do what outlives me. And that's why I'm doing this. You see, my show here every Fridays, sharing with you, inside with you guys, is part of me being there for you. Like taking your questions, encouraging you, it's part of me being there for you. Right? And like I told you at the beginning, I am not necessarily expecting you to do anything in return for me. All I'm saying, you take this and also be there for others. So pass it on to you to be there for others. Are we together? The world becomes a better place when we all learn how to be there for others. Then we are selfless. Then we are putting others first. The world becomes a better place when we learn to be there for others. Right? Remember last week I taught us the word greed. And I told us that 2 ways to curb greed is through generosity, right? And responsibility, which is coming to contentment. Contentment and generosity, 2 ways to curb greed. This a step further than just curbing greed, but to be there for others. And that's a very big thing on generosity. Because when it comes to generosity, it's not about what you will do for me in return. It's what I need to just do. I'm not looking out for what you do in return. It's what I have decided I will do. That's how you have been there for others. So support, your recommendation, your reprimanding is part of your generosity. And it's making you no longer focus on you, but focusing on others. Because see, life lived for self is short. Life lived for others is very long. It's a long life when it's for others. And what better way to live life for others than to be there for others? So guys, I hope that this has helped you today. And you know, as we've started a new month, go into the month with this mindset to be there for others. And you'll be amazed with the things that happen for you in the month of May. So I pray for you this month of May, it will be an amazing month for you because you're not just focusing on you, you're focusing on others. And I can't wait to hear the testimonies that you share this month of May because it's an amazing month. Amazing month, this month of May for you. This month of May, mark it down. It's going to be an amazing month, like you've never experienced in 2025. Because you're going to be there for others. And even scripture reminds us that anyone who gives to the poor lends to the Lord. Be there for others. It has so many spiritual and physical benefits when you're there for others. So guys, I hope that this has helped you. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you go and practice this, especially in this new month of May, because I really want to hear the testimonies on how your being there for others has changed your perspective to life. An amazing month for you in the month of May. It's super amazing. I will hear your testimonies. I will hear your feedback. I will hear your success stories in this month of May. I also share mine with you because we are being here for each other. I'm going to share mine with you too. Come in this month of May. There's so many testimonies, so many good news I'm going to share with you in this month of May because it's a month an amazing month for you and for me, right? So guys, thank you so very much for being here. Until I come again and come your way again, remember, there's always more on the upgrade side of life. And that's why we encourage you that you leave good behind so that you can upgrade. And what better way for you to upgrade? To be there for others. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. And do well to share this with your friends, your family, your loved ones, and even your enemies. It's part of you being there for others. Thank you for watching. God bless you.